Dixo presenta ApeCo 101 with guests hosted by Rida, Dutchee, and Kyle.
Let's go over to OX Simple Farmer real quick behind the Clutch Markets account. How's it going, man? What'd you think of the space, and what are your thoughts?
Hey, GM guys. Just want to check. Can you guys hear me?
No, we can't.
We can hear you.
All right, just making sure. So I thought that was really awesome, and I think Garga's action shows that like something's brewing on ApeChain, and it should be like a call to action for all of us on the chain to put out more products, put out the word more, let people know that we're about to be doing big things here. We have like obviously that huge Mintatars event tomorrow. I think it's going to be awesome. Everybody on CT should know that's happening. And we need, like, obviously everybody on ApeChain has great connections to other people who are outside of ApeChain. And I think if we show them things like the event going on tomorrow, like the products we're building on ApeChain, that we can onboard new users. And then it can be a perfect storm, right? Because if we work in a synergistic fashion with what Garga is doing over at ApeCo, we can really make noise here, guys. And I mean, and we only live once. If we're not going to try, what's the point of anything? So I say let's put max effort into this, just everybody.
Absolutely love it. Couldn't have said it better myself. Absolutely agree.
I'd like to, Ernest, I'd love to hear your opinion and your take on what was said. And if it answered some of your questions and how you feel about it.
It does answer my question. My question, the simple question was how does this go up within 3 months of revamp implementation? And the answer was, it doesn't matter what the rules say. We're going to put it up because that's what the community wants. And that's telling to me. That tells me that there will be no process. It doesn't matter whether the rules are a certain way, and the DAO can vote and empty the coffers. I explored this 2 years ago. I got into the DAO, and I explored this with some SEC attorneys and friends of mine, and I was like, these DAOs, how they vote and how they work. What's to stop someone from having 100 million ApeCoin and voting to distribute all of the assets to me? I said that as like a hypothetical 2 years ago. And the answer was nothing. There is nothing that would stop anyone from accumulating enough ApeCoin to push a proposal through that would just empty the treasury. The only thing that they did come up with is that the executive director in his role now has a ethical obligation to preserve the assets of the DAO, and that potentially wouldn't allow an AIP that is passed even by the community to empty the treasury and transfer all of the assets out. It wouldn't allow that AIP to be implemented. And so there's a curious kind of a wrinkle there. Now, all that being said, I hear it. I hear everyone's criticism. You're being a lawyer. You're just being nitpicky. We just want better things, and this is what we want. I completely hear all that, but as an attorney and as a rule of law kind of person, I feel that we shouldn't start down this road with a bad act. We shouldn't start down this road with doing something that is against the rules, because that just says that later it won't matter. It won't matter whether somebody says that, yes, we're going to continue the mission of the banana bill. We're going to continue to fund cool shit, and we're not going to transfer all of this treasury to Yuga or our own pockets. It just means that, hey, it doesn't matter what people say, it's what they do. And what they're doing is not what they said they would do in the beginning. Just my take. And I'm not trying to be, anyone that doesn't know, I'm Bored Ape for life, man. I've got a Bored Ape on one side of my chest and a mutant on the other. I'm not saying that Yuga wouldn't do a great job with this. I'm just saying that we should follow the rules so that it doesn't look bad. It's kind of like, okay, here's an example. It's kind of like somebody stepping out on their wife, and yeah, they got a new girlfriend and she's great and they're going to have a really great relationship, but he's leaving the 3 kids behind, and it didn't start out so well. And it might be the greatest thing in the world for them, but it really is a bad look. That's just my take.
Rida, can I make a comment on that?
Of course, I knew you would, because as wives and kids, you guys are really trying to get me in trouble today.
Yeah, and on that note, we it's your feast day today, so celebrate. Well, hope you're having great celebrations, and your wife will forgive you for the rest of the year. So that's I think the analogy is good in the sense that he even said it himself. He said we want to make sure that we need a big change. People shouldn't feel it's more of the same. We want to move away from the current foundation structure. And he's saying, for soft reasons, which is kind of like the branding reason, right? And the feel good, and it's something new, right? So that's fine. But there is a way this can be done that's both works, win-win. I mean, there was 25% of the treasury, approximately $30 million already gone to the foundation, right? They mentioned that there's 10 million they need to keep aside for liabilities. So there could be a staged approach where you're like, okay, you first take 20 million or 15 million, and that would not inviolate any of the other things, and that can go up. That one can go up quickly. It can pass. It's enough. 15 million is enough to hire those people in, build up the brand, say what they're going to do. And then, they're not going to spend 15 million in 2 or 3 months, right? And then they're at a point where they can, during that phase, do a phase 2 where they can say, okay, now you can see the legal structures there. Now you can see that it's clearly written that this is that Yuga it cannot take dividend out. It's structured as where the term he used. I think there was a term non-profit, and there was another term he used potentially, which was something good company. What was the term? Someone can correct me. He used the term for it, right? But effectively, public benefit corporation, right? So whether it's a PBC, whether it's a nonprofit, whether it's a foundation, that can all be done. Like he said, that'll just, we got lawyers, we do this stuff quick. It should just take a few weeks. Why not just take 10 mil, go set up that structure, set up all the foundation, move the management people across, and then say, okay, we said what we're going to do. The structure's all here. It's all legally together. And now we want phase 2. Once we've done phase 1, because by the way, what's he saying? He's saying we should make sure we have funding, which is tranched, funding mechanisms that make Ape win with milestone grants. And so what I would suggest is make this a milestone grant. Make it phase 1, 10 million, set it up. Phase 2, if that's all set up correctly, after 3 months, phase 2 can be moving the rest. Does that not sound like a way that then it's the reputation, and there's not going to be any FUD. It's going to be a healthy way to move forward and to create a.
Big Bull, I gotta say, I just sometimes think a lot of people I think out there are just looking around and they go, we've been doing a DAO, we've tried this for about 3 years now, and we are where we are. And I think that everyone is just kind of interested in a change, whatever change may be, and they're excited to see that Garga and the team are actually stepping in now and trying to do something new. So, I hear you, and I think a lot of people hear you, but at the exact same time, I think a lot of people are like, we're in a spot where people want to take a big swing, and that's basically what I think people are thinking about right now. They're just kind of like, I don't want any more of the same. I want something radically different. I want to try something new.
And the revamp AIP was exactly that big swing. Do something different. Do it new. Put all voting on chain. Eliminate administrative review. We did all that with revamp with AIP 582, and it hasn't been implemented yet.
Yeah, well, it wasn't implemented by Yuga, who are the committee or special counsel, and Yuga didn't request the special counsel to be removed for not implementing it on schedule. Yeah. So, so there. Yeah, I agree, but I think the phase thing is reasonable because then they can quickly do it. This AIP they have now is so far away from going to vote. It has so many problems in it. It's like half written right now, And so if you had it, a certain amount that's already moved, you can do that while the other one comes up, right? I mean, I don't understand. It's like one rule for people asking for funding and one rule for them asking for funding. It's two separate rules, right?
But let's be clear, it's going to happen. It's going to be put up. It's going to go to snapshot 7 days, and the community is going to vote on it, and that's going to be it. I'm fairly certain of that. So it's unfortunate that we start out this way.
Guys, I want to go ahead and jump to some more hands, so that way it's an evenly balanced conversation.
Also, if you've spoken or asked your questions, if you guys could step down, so we can let some more people up. I think.
All right, thanks, guys. I'll step down. Thanks you all. Bye.
Yeah, thanks, Rida. Great space. Thank you, Board Ape Gazette and Dutchee.
You have to thank Dutchee twice or 3 times, please. He gets all funky like that.
Thank you, Dutchee. Thank you, Dutchee. Thank you, Dutchee. This is where I'm from. You guys have been around, some of you, for a lot longer than me, and have a much deeper understanding of how everything's been built over the years. Lisbon was my first Ape Fest. I got my first mutant just before that. And then I've been in ApeChain since then. So I've learned to know people, but not before. My personal experience is that I've never seen a DAO that's functional and that works. I think this is my personal opinion, right? I think that it's like communism. Like communism is actually, if you read the paper, it's a good idea. Everybody has something. Nobody starves. We're all equal. But it doesn't work at all in reality, because there's always someone that's in charge. There's always a group of people that have control. There's always a group of people that decide things, and that's how a DAO becomes. And I can talk through personal experience and experience of friends. There are people that have left ApeChain, and there are people that have been turned off ApeChain and ApeCoin because of the way that the DAO functions and of decisions that have happened and everything else. So I'm 100% for a business approach, and this is what I wrote, in the beginning to Cam and on Rida's first space. Why have a multi-million or billion-dollar company that isn't run properly like a multi-million-dollar billion company? Why try and have a DAO system and invite people to sort of come into roles that they might be really good at it, but they also might just be someone who's been around for 4 years and everybody likes and is a nice person, that might not be the best person for the job. Run it like a business, have a recruitment agency, have a job description, have responsibilities that if you don't meet, you don't have that job anymore. But do it properly, do it seriously. And I see in my little bubble, that's how I see this progressing. I think that it's the right way forward. I can agree that the way it's been announced and the processes and things like that might not be in place yet, but I'm gonna be really geeky now and quote Harry Potter, and it comes down to, do you trust Dumbledore? I trust Dumbledore, right? It comes down to, do you trust Garga as CEO and what he's saying and the reasons why? And I think that he would not have said what he said without an explanation of what happens for the special counsel nominees, without a clear description of how it goes forward, or any of that, if there wasn't a lot more to this story, which we don't understand yet, both with the amount of money that's gone missing, misused, given to projects that never did anything, and because of the way the contracts were written, that money is not claimable back. There's no legal recourse. That money is lost. And I think because of that and other things that we all don't know yet, this is absolutely necessary. And I think that it's really easy for us to speculate. Even me now, I'm speculating, right? It's really easy for us to speculate and say this is wrong or that's wrong, or we could do this, that could be better, or whatever else. But I don't think we have the full story. And I think the person that does have the full story is Garga and a few others. And it comes down to if you trust that or not. And I do. So I'm in for it. But I also do understand people that are talking about if the process is done correctly and things like that. But in all, I'm really excited by it. And I think this is a good move forward for us. Maybe I'm naive, I'm new, etc. But that's sort of my view on things that I really wanted to sort of just come up and share.
Would you agree to having a tranched funding in one AIP? How would that sound to you? Like, we give 10 million, and if in 3 months they've done it and they've set it up as they said, and the trust Dumbledore, then the whole stage 2 goes through without a second vote. How does that sound?
I haven't thought about it, but I'm open. Yeah, I'd be open to different sort of ways of implementing it and processing it. That the majority of people that are smarter than me and think that that's the way forward. I'm not against it in any way, shape, or form. I just think that the direction is correct, and I think there's a lot more to the story, so it's hard to judge it properly without all the information. Maybe.
Appreciate that, Don Diablo. Thank you for coming up and saying your piece. I want to go over to Machi real quick. I saw Machi come up here. So Machi, what's on your mind? What are you thinking? Where are we going?
Yo, hey, thanks for having me up. It looks really good. It looks really good. I heard the tranche thing. No tranche thing. That means someone else needs to decide when we give Garga and ApeCo the rest of the funding. And why would we trust anybody to do that? I mean, honestly, the bottom line is like you said, trust Dumbledore. Yeah, I'd rather go with Garga. Let's call it what it is. Like Bored Apes, everything's been doing a lot better since Garga came back. I'm not going to name names, but whoever the professional CEO was before from Blizzard or whatever, he did the best job he could, but it sucked. And it was under, poor regulations. I mean, like we had Biden trying to kill off crypto. So, Apecoin DAO, when it launched, was on shaky structure, right? It was, I think Yat wrote it with Horizon, and you guys forget who was running the DAO before with the administrators and in Cayman Islands, whatever. You think the guys, the Cayman Island people know how to run a company, a DAO, or even any kind of Web3 project when none of those people were qualified to run a DAO? I've been in DAOs forever, and I never seen any of those names involved in a DAO ever before. So we had a bunch of noobs running shit. It didn't go well. I went through the AIP process more than once. I submitted many times. The first few times, I never got an answer for like 3, 4, 5 months. Somehow, by a miracle, the entire DAO banded together. Now, let's not call the entire DAO, but about 60% of the DAO banded together to get AIP 304 through the damn DAO. Other than that, every DAO, every AIP I submitted never, didn't really see the light of day. Didn't get much feedback, and any feedback I got was shitty. Like it was just from people that are total noobs and weren't qualified to do anything. Now, whatever you want to say about Garga, he's the founder of Bored Apes. And is he qualified to run this ApeCo instead of whoever we have now that you want to be the ones to put in charge of tranching it out to Garga and them? No, you don't tranche it out to them. We're firing everybody in the past and we're going to hire someone new. That's kind of what the simple way to look at it. And from a quick track record, from what I can see, he's focusing on a few projects, right? ApeChain, ApeCoin, Bored Ape Yacht Club, and something else. And other deeds is in my opinion, ApeChain, ApeCoin, or falls under that. So the focus is really clear. I like it. I like that he's focusing, or the whole Yuga is focusing, and just we didn't get rid of it, but we set Moodbirds free. We set the CryptoPunks free. We set the Me Bits free. I think those are great moves to allow those communities to do their own thing, and the goodwill is there. Like Garga, again, set everybody free. I think the punks, they always get crazy on Yuga and stuff, but they forgot that if it wasn't Yuga, it was Larva Labs, and Larva Labs didn't give them any rights to their PFP or any of their art. Where now they own their own art and they own their own PFPs, because thank Garga and Yuga and them for it. But going to where we're going to go next and just shutting out DAO, you guys see this. At least your ApeCoin's not being burned away, giving out salaries. It's just it's at least more focused, and whatever process it is to kill the DAO is the right one. There's no reason to put in more bureaucracy or any kind of thing like, oh, that's not Web3 enough. Dude, the DAO before wasn't very Web3. You guys just didn't know it. For those of you that were blind, it was bad. Like, it was being run out of Cayman Islands by some shady motherfuckers that you don't even know. They're just paying themselves huge amounts of money. Like, at Yuga, at least they're a U.S. company. Garga, I don't see him handing his friends money. I don't see him doing no weird shit. The motherfucker's legit. And again, he's qualified to do ApeCo. He's qualified. Go look at anything we did in the past and who's going to run it and what. Were they qualified to run it? Do you want them to continue running it? No. A hard stop. Let's move on, move fast. Honestly, this last couple of days is the only time I thought about buying ApeCoin again. I already have a huge bag of Bored Apes. I still have them. The one thing I want to say about before I jump off or whatever, there is the AIP 304, which was the damn DAO, digital art movement. We got like over 200 plus apes, badass apes. It's priceless. It's a priceless collection. So again, ApeCoin, the staking is going to run out in a few months, meaning like you're not going to get yield on your ApeCoin anymore. We've already migrated the DAM token and the DAM staking system over to ApeChain. So if you stake your ApeCoin, you can still get a yield on your ApeCoin. You can earn digital art movement tokens, the DAM token, which, before when we wrote the AIP, it was like, oh, you get to curate the collection. Nah, bitch. Now there's a nice regulatory system out there. Everybody's cool with tokens and shit. So now you know, if you own the DAM token, you own 200 plus apes. And you can get it for not free. You just got to kind of pay a little gas, whatever the gas is on ApeChain, which is very cheap. Stake your fucking ApeCoin and get your damn token. Then and the emissions are going on for, I don't know. I haven't checked it. I think it was 5 to 7 years from now till the emissions run out of the damn token. But again, then there's some kind of yield you can get for your ApeCoin for now. I think there's other projects out there. They can speak for themselves, but for digital art movement, all you got to do is stake your ApeCoin, and you get some. So that's the benefit of owning ApeCoin.
Hey, Machi, I have a question for you, really quick. With the support of Garga and ApeCo, would you consider transferring those assets that are held in DAM back to ApeCo?
Yeah, if it's Garga, it's possible. If you talk to me, we figured out the details. Sure. Anybody else?
I think
Fuck
that would
no,
be.
man. I don't trust anybody. Anybody in the ApeCoin DAO with those fucking assets. It's in multi-sig. It's held by anything better than the ApeCoin DAO ever could have done, and the people there are rough.
I think that would be a really good way to show your support.
Only Garga, Ernest. Nobody else.
That's what I mean. If this passes and Garga's running ApeCo, I think that it's a really good way for you to show your support.
Yeah, and I'll tell you exactly how that would go down. We would take the DAM tokens and we'd switch them for some of the ApeCoin in the fucking ApeCo, and then we'd hand over 200 plus apes and all that stuff into a DAO owned by the ApeCoin holders.
ApeCo.
Yeah, ApeCo and ApeCoin holders.
Well, it's not owned by ApeCoin holders. If we transfer everything to ApeCo, it's going to be held by ApeCo. Right?
Yeah, that's why we have to figure it out.
That's what the proposal is.
Yeah,
that's what the proposal is. The ApeCoin holders aren't going to have any say in anything at this passes.
So for me, if I was to transfer ApeCo, then I would get the digital art token holders some equity in the ApeCo. That's what I would do, Ernest.
But he said it might not be an equity company. He said he was looking at being a public benefit corp. That's his own words, right?
Well, I would figure a way to make sure people that stake their ApeCoin that earned DAM tokens or continuing DAM tokens get value, because that's the way I roll.
Yeah, they might get value, but basically he's saying no dividend. He's saying Yuga, this is not a play to increase the market value directly of Yuga by transferring a couple $100 million assets.
Yeah, we want to increase the value of apes, ApeChain, or ApeCoin, or let's just keep it simple: ApeCoin and Bored Apes. That's how I see it.
Yeah, so he's saying that's the aim, and it's not for Yuga to be like, oh, they can just dividend it out. He made that.
Yeah, he made that.
That
clear.
was, I think, the biggest statement he made today.
I agree that would definitely be the way to do it. If it was direct Yuga, I think that doesn't make sense.
I appreciate you coming up here, Machi, today, and I really appreciate you reminding everybody about DAM. This space moves so quickly, and I think so many people forget that they can actually own a piece of that 200 apes or whatever, however many it is nowadays, and that whole collection. Because, guys, it's on ApeChain. You can go over to the, Machi, is it damdao.org, if I'm not mistaken? And you literally go over there, you quickly just stake your ApeCoin, and then you're in, and then you're collecting DAM, and that's it, correct?
I'm going to do one better. I'm going to post it above and you guys can follow it.
Perfect. Appreciate that, Machi. Because, yeah, guys, I mean, a lot of people bring that up and then they keep going. They bring up that one and they go, he spent it all on the apes. It's like, yes, but you can actually own a piece of the apes. And all you have to do is just hold your ape coin. And then I believe you also get your ApeCoin native yield on top of the DAM token yield. Is that correct, Machi?
Correct. You get ApeCoin and you get the DAM token.
Yeah, so again,
it's on ApeChain now. Yeah, it's been migrated.
Yeah, so not financial advice, but, Machi did build it with the DAO, and, yeah, he built it, 2023. It's been forever. But, yeah, here, Dutchee, you want to keep us moving, Dutchee?
Yeah, definitely want to respect the hands and also make sure that everybody gets a chance to be heard. So if you've already spoken and you've said your piece, it'd be great to kind of give more people a voice here because it's sort of all of our space. So I know Derek's been waiting for quite some time. So we'll go to Derek, and then I'm going to go to Nana, and then RFDZ, and then I have a whole list of who's joined and what order did they join.
Hey guys, just wanted to say just one or two things. I mean, some of us in the DAO have been talking about, restructuring things for a while. I think the pros and cons arguments are all good, but as Garga said, and a lot of people said, because of the structure from the Ape Foundation down to the DAO itself, it's going to be very difficult and more complex legally to just pick and choose what you can and cannot do, and everything needs to be shut down and started from scratch, which is how I understood the ApeCo, AIP. But more to the point, one of the things that I have concern, a lot of people who aren't involved in the DAO don't know how it actually works. The first time you put up an AIP is never perfect. It's mostly like an outline. People, some people go all out and write a very complex, detailed AIP. But over the course, from the time an AIP goes up in draft to the time it becomes an AIP, from an idea to an AIP to vote, it goes through a lot of iteration, a lot of changes, a lot of revisions based on what people say and all the comments. So I think that as long as they don't rush this out to vote as is, I hope that there's some more clarity can be brought to the AIP. And I even messaged Garga about it yesterday. I said to him, and Ernest brought this up again. Of course, he would. Ernest is an attorney. I mentioned to him that AIP 582 has set up a bunch of different things that needed to be done. And how was he planning to address AIP 582? For instance, AIP 582 had certain things for ApeChain itself. They had the Security Council and all those things. Are they going to be taking those things out and moving them to the new structure because it affects ApeChain, or are they going to just take a look at AIP 582, which also structures the special council? Are they just going to destroy everything? So those are the only things. And of course, nobody knows for sure how much money is left in the treasury. We haven't had any financials since 2023, so that's 2 years of financials not there. So once this AIP goes through and everything gets shut down, destroyed, restarted, all that goes away, and the DAO has no idea, what happened to the funds and who gets what and where it goes. But I think shutting everything down and starting from scratch with ApeCo, I think is the best way to go. But there's still a lot of unanswered questions. And Ernest said it. I wasn't sure if it was Ernest or Big Bull who said it eloquently, that you can't start something in this manner, because then a lot of people are going to, down the road, going to say, well, why should we take ApeCo seriously if we just, ramshot through an AIP that the DAO had? But the counter argument to that is, if you're going to shut down the DAO, I don't think it matters how you do it, because the end result will be the same, whether you do it properly, you do it step by step, or you save some parts of it. I think the end result is going to be the same thing. The DAO is gone, and I think it needs to be gone, because for the longest time, I just posted a link in the chat there that Kodama and myself and others were saying since December 2023 that the only way to save the DAO was to kill it and rebuild it. But here we are. I'm 100% in support of this ApeCo direction. I think a lot of people who don't understand how the DAO works really don't understand, that this is the way to go. And everybody trusts Gaga, so I don't see the argument. But that's all I wanted to say.
Well, appreciate you coming up. Thank you. Nana, let's go to you now.
Thanks, bro, for giving me just a minute just to say my simple words. It's a pretty of younger apes. I'm coming as well from a corporate background, and things can be better and more streamlined. And I think it's good when we all get like and really listen carefully to the vision Gaga just laid out. So I think we will hear a lot of more stuff coming, because what I found interesting is really incorporating changing regulatory environments and becoming the world's #1 community token. Yeah, so when you got to break through in the US, you break through the world. That's simple marketing and branding rule #1 since capitalism is born. And I really, I'm really proud to see how respectful the discussion is being driven between everyone. So that's thumbs up for everyone. And
No,
thanks.
just for me, thumbs up for me. That's me. That's my effect. If I left
Bro,
it to Dutchee and Kyle, this place would be a shit show. But I'm here with a strong arm with the mute button and the kick button, and I even blocked Gargo, and he said he's not transferring the ApeCoin to me.
Bro, I know, because that's why you paid me that I'm standing right behind Dutchee with a baseball bat so that he behaves this space. All good, bro. So we are aligned. No, thanks for having me. And let's stay strong together. Ape chain on top.
Appreciate you coming by, Nana. Thank you for that. RFDZ, the floor is yours,
Hey
my friend. What's
man,
going
how's
on?
it going, bro? I think we should just let Garga cook, man. I've been listening to all these people talking, but I was just like, just let Garga cook, man.
Just let Garga cook. I like that. It's just, plain and simple. Man, a few words, moving it quick. We appreciate you, man. Thank you for that. Let's go to Aaron next. Aaron, what's going on? What are you thinking?
Well, first of all, everybody should know that I did not actually request to come up. I think everybody is probably like, oh, this guy wants to talk. And no, I was invited on stage because I wasn't sure if I had anything to add. I mean, I see both sides of it, right? I can't imagine being Garga and Gordon and starting Bored Ape Yacht Club wanting to spin up a coin, and then because of the regulatory issues, having to kind of spin it off and not be able to talk with the entity for years. That must have been incredibly frustrating, especially when you see all of the infighting, the mismanagement, just the general shittiness of how the DAO worked. I can see that, and I can see him wanting to come in and kind of fix everything, and I applaud him for that. I can also see, being Ernest's partner and board counsel, and having worked with him extensively and being a good friend of his, I can see that Ernest wants things to be done properly, because when you do things properly, sometimes they go better. I can also see everybody in the community just wanting to be like, fuck that shit. We want things to just move forward. And you could definitely tell the community sentiment wants ApeCo to happen. And I think it will go up to vote, and I think it will happen. I mean, RIP DAO, I don't think we ever got, as much as I like the individuals, who were part of the special council, we never got the ability to actually run it the way it was supposed to be run. And, whether it was, Machi, it had taken a year for him to get a deal that the whole DAO voted on, or whether it was other people that never even got a chance to go up to vote for no good reason. It all kind of sucks. So, I think the vote's going to go forward. I think it's going to pass. At the same time, the only thing that I would say to Garga and company is, if you weren't thinking about this last week, perhaps think about it a little bit more. It's going to pass whenever they put it up. Is this the best version of it? And is this the best way to move forward? But yeah, I have no doubt it's going to pass. I'm Bored Ape Yacht Club, ride or die. I'm gonna say something that's gonna make Natalie very upset.
Kick him off stage. Let's go. No, just kidding.
I really don't care about DAOs. I mean, I did not join, Web3 because of decentralization. I didn't join the DAO because it was a DAO. I mean, I'm in this because I care about founders and artists' rights. I care about royalties for people that, are generally not treated that well, like artists and comedians, painters, whatever. I'm in this for the IP. I'm in this for spreading a new way of owning intellectual property. I mean, that's why I'm here. I think Ernest and I put up a good fight, trying to make sure that the DAO worked for everyone, and I think we'll continue to do that in-board counsel and in other ways, trying to help people achieve their goals and dreams. I don't think a DAO is necessary for that. And let's see what happens. But yes, I do trust Dumbledore. But at the same time, Harry Potter always misbehaved. He always had questions. I have a kid named after a Harry Potter character, okay? I get this shit. Like, you know, it's okay to ask questions of the people that you love and trust, and it's okay to sort of expect answers. So, you know, Harry Potter didn't walk through the seven, books blind. He always learned stuff and found stuff out. So, yeah, I trust Dumbledore. You're also allowed to ask questions.
Thanks for that. Appreciate it. I do want to rotate to some of the other people who haven't got a chance to speak yet. So I want to pass the mic over to Baca, and then I'm going to go over to Natalie.
I quit.
What's up,
Bye.
guys? Nah, I get it. I get the whole like, oh no, like we don't have control anymore. We don't have a voice. But like, yo, I mean, the CEO is the CEO, man. You know, pass the torch. We're passing the torch to the right person, I think. And yeah, like I think everyone should be excited that he's taking over. I think most of us are. Gordon. I've been saying this, like, if Gordon steps up and comes back, dude, it's over. We're going up. We're going up. That's just how it is. Um, yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited because I know this thing is gonna fucking pass, and yeah, it looks good.
100%. Appreciate you coming up here, Baca. Appreciate you coming and saying your piece. Natalie, let's go to you.
Hey, y'all. Shout out to everybody in the audience and on stage. This has been a very interesting conversation, to say the least. I think maybe I'm here, to be very frank, as like a word of caution. I know that people are very excited, as am I. However, I see on the timeline everybody saying we need to move quickly. We need to do, coin go up. This is partially how we got to this point, because we were moving quickly. There are people asking questions along the way and trying to hold folks accountable, and posting numerous conversations over the years to do so. However, I think we need to move with caution, and make sure that we have all the nails and bolts intact. And while we can't prepare for everything, it's probably one of the few people that have spun down a DAO in this kind of ecosystem period, which is probably one of the most challenging things I've ever done in my life, because ego. But I just need folks to like move with caution and also like hold each other accountable. And while we may not have control of like whatever the future structure is, I do think it's important for all of us to band together, slap on some elbow grease, and make sure that we're all doing our part to hold up the ecosystem, to make sure that we're bringing new folks in, and to expand kind of our collective vision as well. Although ApeCo will be a different thing, and we'll have to like adapt and like figure out what that means for all of us and how we participate. But I do, again, for the 80th time, think we need to move with caution, and the quickly thing kind of scary to me. So I just need folks to like hold on to this idea that we built something together, and maybe there's something in the future that can manifest itself. But the last thing I want to say is that there are a lot of people on the timeline and came on the stage and said DAOs do not work. I've been to probably like 20 or 30 DAOs over the last like several years on Near and Forefront and Seed Club, which was kind of the pinnacle of like what DAOs meant at the time. And so I've seen a lot of folks do a lot of crazy shit, and I've seen a lot of DAOs flounder. I've seen a lot of DAOs fail, but I've also seen how the power of DAOs actually could change the material conditions for a lot of people, and also this ecosystem. And the things that have kind of transpired have been monumental and actually changed a lot of the shit that was happening in this Web3 crypto, whatever you want to call it. So I think it's time for a new era. Like, don't get it twisted. But I also am like, let's not be dismissive of people who actually did do work in the DAO. Let's not think that people just want a job or to hang on to like whatever assets, or they're not going to get funding anymore, so now they're disgruntled. No, people actually care about this community. People actually care about the DAO. People actually care about ApeChain and its trajectory. And some people are just asking questions that are very much needed. And I urge us to stop being yes men and really just hold each other accountable, ask questions, so that we can iron out something that actually feels good for all of us moving forward. And we build a new structure that actually looks very different from the past. And also, some of y'all coming up to stage, Derek, you also are part of the problem, but I'm in there, so I'm not gonna get too spicy. But Rita, love you. Dutchee, good, top-notch trophy host. So I'm just leave it there for it. Thank you. That's all I gotta say.
Thank you so much, Natalie. Appreciate it. Maki, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, I stayed up here just to defend ApeCo and Garga. So anybody saying like slow the process down, when they fire people, they just get security, escort your ass out, shut your email down, take your cell phone away, and you're done. They don't like, oh yeah, while you know I fired you, you can decide how you tranche me out the fucking funds, or you know like hesitate or second guess by the people that I'm letting go. No, it's already like, you know, check the timeline. Yo, we got people without even the APFP giving up ApeCo and Apecoin DAO ideas. Like, I love you, Natalie, but
First of all,
okay, you were
I
first.
co-founded NFTs.tips, and we launched some of the first few thousand apes. So let's not get it twisted. So while I didn't have the access or financial resource to get a damn ape, I sure put in some damn work, and I sure held people accountable, and I sure held court without a damn ape. So that should tell you a lot. So don't get it twisted. There are a lot of people in this community that also cannot afford an ape or don't have the resources to hoard 200 apes, but will put in work. So I acknowledge anybody who put in some elbow grease into this DAO. I acknowledge anybody who comes to the stage and have the balls, cojones, to actually say some shit. So don't come for me, because Machi, you know I gets down. So please have a seat, sir.
Garga knows what's up. He's very intentional.
I'm not
He's very
saying he
confident.
doesn't. He don't need a cheerleader. We know he got this. I'm not
Yeah,
even
I'm
saying he
not a
doesn't.
cheerleader. You guys are the cheerleaders. I'm the fucking
Nah, I
enforcer.
don't wear pom-pom. I'm the judge up in here. What's up? I'm just saying we need to move thoughtfully and intentionally, and that's the last of my comments. So I'm going to need you to fall back and understand I'm always like, let's do what's equitably right in this space so we can move forward and do some new shit and ApeCoin go up. That's what I'm saying.
If anybody has just one ApeCoin, which is under $1 right now, go stake it
And I
right
do.
fucking
Thank you.
now for some digital art token. Then you will own a piece of 200 plus apes. Everybody.
Appreciate that. I want to rotate to some more people who haven't got a chance to speak. So if you have got a chance to speak, it would be great if we could let more community members have their voice heard. Obviously, this affects us all. So yeah,
I can hop down. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Aaron. Appreciate it. So yeah, I'm going to go to Ramdog, and then from there I'm going to go to Lord.
GM, everyone. Thanks for allowing me up on stage. I haven't really been listening in on all the beef with the DAO and everything like that. I'm just here to build, like free mints, just getting people to buy, set up wallets, get on ApeChain, ApeCoin. I've bored apes for the past 2 years. It's been an up and down cycle, but everyone's building. Everyone's here to grind, to support each other. So. I'm not really worried about any FUD or anything like that. Let's get it going.
Yeah, I think it's not necessarily a beef. I think it's just an open discussion about the proposal coming from Garga to essentially wind down the DAO or sunset the DAO is the word, and this would transition all those resources to a new entity that is kind of coming from Yuga, and that would be ApeCo. And so that fundamentally changes, voting, participation, funding, a lot of infrastructure. So I don't think it's a matter of beef. I think it's just a matter of conversation and how does this look like, and how do people feel about that sort of massive, it's probably the biggest thing that has happened in the DAO since its inception. So we just want to make sure everyone has been heard. But I will encourage that I've seen some questions on the timeline that sort of are answered in the AIP that Garga has proposed. So I know apes generally don't read, but it would probably be a good idea to read through because a lot of the things have been answered already in there. So we don't have the time taken up with things that have been addressed. Lord, I'm going to go over to you.
GM, two questions really quick. One for Machi. I want to make sure I understood this right. Machi, did you say that you would be giving all the apes back to ApeCo if this happens? I want to make sure I understood that.
Yeah, me and Gargo would discuss it. I'm down if Gargo's...
No, not discuss it. I want to know, Machi, do we have your commitment if this goes through?
It's being run by Lord running the fucking ApeCo or whatever, whoever the fuck is running ApeCo. I need to see who's running ApeCo.
So if they don't say who's running ApeCo, you're not going to do it. You wouldn't. What would you give them straight up to Garga?
Yeah, straight up Garga. Garga's got to do the negotiating and talking. Yes.
Now let's say it didn't happen, but would you consider just giving them to Garga regardless of who's running ApeCo?
No. Right now,
Ah,
the apes belong to everybody with ApeCoin, man. You got ApeCoin, fucking go stake it, and you own this fucking all these apes, man. It's that simple.
interesting.
But
Rita,
I
I'd like
would,
to.
you know what? Now they brought it up, Lord. I believe once they shut down ApeCoin DAO and they start ApeCo up, take fucking 10% of the ApeCoin there, load up on Bored Apes, and start the ape strategy. Straight up like a micro strategy, like Michael Saylor, just like Joe Lubin with his SBET, motherfuckers. With ApeCo, we fucking just go all out and do a fucking ape strategy. It would blow the fuck up. It's that simple. Actually, it was brought up before, but no one wrote the AIP, and now we don't need to write the AIP. We do it with ApeCo.
Okay. Rita, I'd love to get your take after hearing Gargas speak. I'd like to know kind of where you stand on the whole situation, on the proposal, on sunsetting the DAO. I'd like to get your take now that you've kind of heard everything.
To be honest, I prefer not to. I'll do it on Baka's space or Captain's space, but for this space, we're trying to keep it as neutral and as how do you say, objective, or however you want to say it, and giving everyone a chance to ask questions and give their takes. I'll do it on another space, if you don't mind,
Interesting.
Lord.
All right. No, I don't mind. Gee,
Just to keep this
it's all you, G.
just to keep it as a safe space and for everybody to be able to talk and give their parts.
Well, here's what I'll say, man. This is probably it for me here. Is that I love the DAO. I love ApeCoin. I love being a mutant. I love Ape Fest, and whatever the decision is, however it moves. I just want things to be fun and exciting for our community as a whole, and that whatever happens benefits our community as a whole. In terms of, I'm not a huge gamer. That's not my thing, but I'd love to see more happening in activations, events, and stuff like that, because that's kind of. That's what I enjoy most about the club. So whatever it is, I just want it all to benefit the club as a whole. And thank you for your time. Have fun. Be safe.
Thank you, Lord.
Do community service.
So if you have any other questions, we got about 15 minutes left, and then we're going to wind this thing down. And then, of course, you'll break out into more discussions. And then we will combine the questions that are received that didn't get a chance to get addressed by Garga and the team. And we'll send over a document. We'll try to get that to the other space hosts as well. So over the course of the week, Garga said he'll be on other spaces as well. And hopefully we can kind of get some of those addressed. Plus, on top of that, we know that this is not the only sort of comms or documentation that's going to come out of this AIP. So, if things are not answered in the initial, draft of a proposal, it makes absolute sense that all the executional details are not outlined as well. It's a gauging of the community sentiment to see if this thing will even move forward at all. And then you flesh out, sort of how this happens and when it happens. So I think there's a lot more dates and details that we'll see revealed, more than what we can get in a 30-minute space from Garga. So, I'll go to the hands with Alpha Degen.
Hey man, thanks for allowing me to come up and join your TED Talk. I just wanted to say, I think we should turn them loose. Insanity is doing the same thing and expecting different results. And right now, we just kind of just lollygag and just a lot of money has been wasted. A lot of money has been made and spent. But I think if we take a new direction and refine the ship and let this motherfucker go break dance and spin on his head like he did on that post somebody made of him, we can't do anything but go somewhere. We all saying that if he comes out and say a tweet and say fuck it, then we jumping up and down and celebrating. Well, that was his fuck it tweet. Let's jump up and down and celebrate, get behind him. A lot of us are here because of the culture in the first place. Let's let the cultural leader be the fucking leader, I don't want to suck him up, but goddamn glaze him, man. I don't want to praise him, but let's glaze him. I land my plane.
Appreciate you, Alpha Degen.
Ernest, do you have anything else you want to add or say?
I do. I just had a thought, and I would have a question for Garga. If this AIP is put up in a week and it passes, what is the plan for the Security Council and the security of the chain? Because the DAO currently through AIP 582 has put into place a Security Council that operates a multi-sig that is there to protect the chain in the event of catastrophe. And it isn't currently anything in this AIP to show who will be in charge of making sure that the chain is protected in the event of a problem like that.
Definitely. I feel like there's just a little bit more information that needs to be out there. And I think that, like, hopefully over the next week or so, as this thing, kind of gets flushed out, we get a little bit more information, things start to come together. I think everyone just wants everything to work out well. And I think everyone's just excited about where we're going next. This is always fun to, get an opportunity to talk to everybody, come as a big group and go, okay, let's all hash this out and try to figure out where, the future of ApeCoin is, where we're all going next. And I think this has been a super awesome space. And yeah, I absolutely loved hearing everyone's questions today and, getting to hear from Ernest, getting to hear from Dutchee, getting to hear from Big Bull, getting to hear from Garga, and then just kind of just putting it all together. Because again, it feels like this is what everybody wants, but even though everybody wants it, it's important to go, okay, well, how does this work? Let's just get some clarification. Let's just keep moving like that. But definitely. G is us. Let's go to you.
Yeah, I'm going to try and keep it real quick. There's so much to say, and as I mentioned in the another space you were holding, we'll do a specific space coming from the Mochaverse lens, and I see Bobby Kunta from the Sandbox DAO. They're certainly invited, but we'll do a space from that lens too, just to add to this. What is being covered in this space so exceptionally. Shouts out to you guys, Rita, just always bringing these spaces together really quickly on the fly. It's it speaks to your ability to be integrated with the community. And that's really why I'm about G's more than anything right now, because all this other stuff isn't as forthright and just out there and making a space and speaking on it. And that's what I wanted to say is that we're not hearing from all of the other people. Let me just rewind real quick. ApeCoin, and through the DAO's journey at one point in marketing, was saying, ApeCoin's not just for BAYC, all the things it's retrenched to now, which is great. I'm for that. Stick to your knitting. Retrenchment strategies are great. But in the meantime, or in the journey, we've, had Mochaverse and all these other institutional investors come in. And Mochaverse has not only Ape, but a huge amount of deeds in the treasury. So I really want to see what the, take is from that side, from all the different people. Open Campus is another one. With their DAO, what's going to happen with all these other DAOs moving forward? Our DAO's dead. All that's discussion, and then how all those things that are already integrated, right, like the voting power of Mocha in there, what happens to that? Is that now going back into Animoca's wallet? Are they just going to, get rid of all that ape that they have? That's huge, right? That's that's a loss. So really curious what that discussion looks like, and looking forward to hearing those takes. But these spaces are the only reason I'm tapping in, because other than that, it's like I think it's at a point where you just capitulate when you don't understand. You can't, you just fall off, right? So thank you for putting these spaces together, because other than that, I'd have fallen off. I'm an OG, you know what I'm saying?
Yo, G, firstly, condolences to you on your loss, and welcome back.
Thank you, brother. It's 2 Mondays from now, so yeah, I'm trying to hold that shit together and just speak on this. But it's a bucket list, if you feel me. You're on my bucket list.
No worries, no worries,
my mom.
No worries, my man.
Yeah, thanks, brother. But yeah, no, thank you for that, and thank you for putting this space together. And yeah, that just shows to the extent. For those that don't know, my mom is going to pass on May 23rd. It's a set date here in Canada. They do that, and so yeah, I'm dealing with all that. But with so much going on, that's how compelling this is. And to Natalie's point, and to others, people are out here. You know what I'm saying? We've been here, and I never fucking received one single fucking ape for holding spaces about ApeCoin DAO for years and years, right? For real, and having and getting to meet the value I gleaned from it is meeting people like Machi, Natalie, Rita, you fucking name it in this space right here. So yeah, the DAOs are part of all our journey, and I don't think we should have that self-rot like Vice magazine taking all its Vice magazines from the OG days out of its lobbies and stuff because they were ashamed, right? Disney being ashamed of Snow White. That's fucking treacherous. That's terrible, and that's when you die. So yeah, just we got to do good vivisection here, and people are speaking on it. People made this DAO, and that led to the chain, and et cetera, et cetera. I hosted every single one of the chain, you know what I'm saying? All the different chains, all the leaders of all the different chains. I hosted them, got to meet them and stuff. There's been huge value in this DAO, but it's time for a pivot, right? So let's do that with some dignity and respect to everybody.
If I don't think anybody else has any more questions, let's wrap it up.
I think we're in a good spot. Guys. This was a great space. Rita, thank you so much for inviting me to be a part of it. Dutchee, thank you so much for putting that document together. Shout out to you. Ernest, Big Bull, Proof of Alpha, G is us. Ram, RFDZ, Baka. Jeez, so many people came by today. Obviously, Garga. Thank you all so much for spending your Friday with us. And I'll see you at Meet at the Clubhouse space coming up here in a few hours.
Yeah, 100%, my man. Thank you, guys. Thank you, everyone, for showing up. And we'll talk soon.
Thanks for listening to ApeChain on Chain. This project is powered by the Apecoin DAO through AIP 572, bringing our community's valuable conversations on chain and also on traditional audio platforms. Rate this episode and/or leave feedback and earn Dixo rewards by visiting the Dixo on-chain platform.